strap in and get ready for After Hours with TC Restani. This is Abigail Harwich, executive producer, welcoming you to the show. And now, TC Restani!
Alrighty, welcome to the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast. I'm TC Restani, your host, emanating from Palatial Podcast Penthouse, and we're here with our esteemed panel of experts going around the rim. Quincy Briscoe, what's going on, Quince?
Oh, a few things going on. We got some surprises coming up here later on.
Unbelievable. The greatest celebrity stalker of all time, the one and the only... Always puffing on that weed, South Boston Jeff.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Feeling good and feels good to be here.
Unbelievable.
Looking good, Billy Ray.
And of course, my mentor and host of Ricky Bittman's Jukebox exclusively on Spotify, Mr. Ricky Bittman.
Up and away,
A little preview of what I want to talk about.
up and away, hey.
Before we get started, up and away, hey, I've been watching Wicked Tuna, the new season.
Yeah.
And everybody on Marciano's boat is now using up and away.
You got to tell me because I'm behind on that.
It was his nephew, Jay.
Yeah.
Did it over the past week on the episode. They were hauling up a tuna to get weighed, and he was like, up and away, hey.
I'm telling you, where else could they have gotten that?
Unless they were watching God Bless the Beast and the Children.
All right. I'm gonna err on the side of caution and say they were listening to the jukebox. I'm getting a lot of listens. I mean, I
believe they are doing it for that because when was the last time that show was on TV?
Exactly, and it's not an easy DVD to find.
And his nephew is probably like in his early to mid 30s.
There you go, target audience.
He ain't remembering Bless the Beast and the Children.
No, he's listening to Spotify.
He is listening to Spotify, exclusively on Spotify.
Maybe I should know. You got to show me. I have to tag him on
a Twitter.
Yeah,
on a tweet,
and I'll say up and away.
Right. Do the Captain Marciano because I think that he's the one who's originating it on the show.
All right.
And he's our good friend.
But I'm almost afraid to ask him because then he'll say, "What? What are you talking about?"
Ooh, I love that it's catching on. You know, Wicked Tuna happens to be one of my dad's favorite programs
really?
And everything. And now it's getting me excited. I'll have something to watch with him and...
every Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
And we all say it. It's what we say. So I think that's great.
On Nat Geo. And of course, we run his commercial here on the show. Great.
Of course. I can't wait till the day we're in the same studio with him and maybe when he takes us out on the boat.
Really? Well, we have to have our ace in the hole named Abby on that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. It will be just like Cuckoo's Nest. Hopefully.
Dr. TC, Dr. Quincy, Dr. Jeff, Dr. Ricky, Mr. Bull.
Famous Mr. Bull. Famous.
Call him Dr. TC. Call him Dr. TC.
So, you have, what do you got over there, baby?
It's kind of like a show and tell night. First of all, I want to thank you, and I'm going to post a picture of this. I'm opening it as we speak. I know this isn't video, but TC was kind enough to, oh shit, I just spilled water all over.
I'll get paper towels.
All right. Okay. I didn't spill it on this. That's a good thing.
See?
Get the cards, the cards.
Oh, the cards. I drank most of the water. Sorry. It's very late. I've had a very long day.
That's right. We had to wait for South Boston Jeff, who got lost tonight.
All right, it's not a disaster.
It's not a today. But
so
Lost in space,
This is an official.
Look at that.
From 1979, it was copyright 1977. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1979 UFO calendar. Watch the skies all through the year, and it is now signed. I've had this in my possession forever. To Rick, hiya, bud. R. Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss.
And I want to thank you for procuring that for me.
Well,
and I know you got to go to like the private, meet and greet. You didn't have to wait in the line with all the ham and eggers.
No. We had to wait in line because me and Ricky Dreyfuss go back a long way.
And I remember Jeff saying he came in on a scooter, Jeff, right? You didn't get
that's correct. On one of those little mobile scooters.
Thank you.
Let's face it. The guy's kind of a nerd, but if you remember, Richard Pryor accepted an award and showed up at the Academy Awards on one of those scooters.
True.
So he came in on a lark. Remember those things? You could buy the advertisements.
I remember Rascals. I don't remember the lark.
Yeah, the lark. LARK.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I wish I got it on video.
I was not in the room yet, and I came back, and Jeff was there, and he goes, "You just missed it. Richard Dreyfuss came in on a scooter."
No, because he knows you guys. Did the fans when they see you getting your autographs for nothing, do they get a little upset?
Well, we know how to do it, right?
Okay,
We went up and said, "Hey, Ricky, how you doing?"
Nice.
And I just slipped it right in front of him, and he goes, he goes, "Who's it for?" and I go, "It's our good friend Ricky Bittman," and he goes, "Okay." He goes, "To Rick," and hey, hi,
I like how he said Rick.
And it's about making these people laugh too. I was right there next to TC, and I was like, hey, Richard, do you remember this little number? Ding, 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 ding. Glub, glub, glub. We're floating down a sea of love. love, love. What the? Well, that's the hello down there.
He was like, "Oh yeah, hello down there.
I haven't heard that in years.
My first encounter with undersea life."
See, there's nobody like Jeff because you pull out these references and stuff, and
And do you remember that movie?
of course,
Hello down there with
but I would never think in a million years to do what
with
Jeff does.
Tony
He's so
Randall?
relaxed, and he just,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
says these, and he makes these people genuinely
And
laugh.
I think Ricky's Ricky, Mr. Dreyfus's wife got a kick out of that. She was,
that's
she was
nice.
there as well, and she was, coincidence or not, we were there with Ricky Dreyfus, and then I went home and I watched Bill Maher's little podcast.
Oh, I love Bill Maher's podcast. Yeah.
You know, when he's down in his basement and
Yes,
whatnot.
yeah,
And
smoking
he had
weed.
Dreyfus on it.
Wow.
And Dreyfus, I don't know if he was drunk or high, kept slipping out of the chair, kept falling, and just like, and he was talking about, masturbation and all. It was a fascinating hour.
I love Bill Maher's, and I'm going to have to go look that one up now because I haven't listened to him in a while.
It was excellent. But you have that calendar there. I know you've had that for 100 years.
Yeah, and I used to keep these. I thought this was interesting. I'll let you guys look at the back of these. But these came out. These came out in 1977 when Close Encounters did. These are little. I guess they call them trading cards or bubblegum cards, and they would become like in a wax pack. But I thought it was interesting because we're talking about being
Whack
fans.
pack? No, that's not.
Wax packs, they call them.
I guess you're referring to the little slice of gum that
These are
that
awesome.
Yes.
Wicked awesome.
I mean, little clips of the movies, but talking about how nowadays being a fan of things is just social media driven and everything. But back then, you could fill out this little thing on the back of the card and you could mail it to Grand Central Station.
There was a lot of things going to Grand Central Station, those
That's-
post office boxes.
And you'd get a 16 by 20 UFO sighting map and many other valuable materials designed especially for members, including a 1-year subscription to the periodical newsletter, The Skywatcher. And you got all that $3.50.
So they had the Sky Watcher, and Lucas had the Skywalkers.
Exactly.
Same year.
But so we were talking about being fans and things like that. So, Jeff, what came up tonight? Well, I was thinking when I was going to come up here to get this, my Richard Dreyfuss signed calendar, I was looking on my bookshelf, just coincidentally in the Winnie Bagel, and I saw my autographed copy of The Spirit of Shaolin, signed by David Carradine. To Rick, we live, we learn. 11/22/03, and he drew a little yin yang.
Yeah, yin yang. That's what he's used. I've met him before, and I've met him before, and I've seen his signature. I know he always does the yin and yang. Unfortunately, I did not. I could have got a great sword out of the deal and everything, but
That
it
would have been something.
But it was before I started sword collecting. But he was a great gentleman.
Let me ask you a question. Are the pages sticky?
No, why?
Well, you know how he passed away, left this world.
We're not going to talk about that.
Well, that's a good way to go, I guess, kind of.
I think he was framed by the mafia.
The Illuminati?
Yeah, that's what his brother Robert Carradine
I'm going to
says.
stick to that because
The Yakuza got him.
Because, when I met him that day, me and Mikey from Southie were there, and we were outside. It was a really warm day, and he came out and he spoke to us for a while. He told us all about the movie he's filming, Kill Bill. And that movie had just come out, and he was filming Kill Bill Part 2 at the time.
Volume 2.
Yeah, he was very nice.
Did he have on his cowboy jacket?
He had a leather jacket on. He had the turquoise rings.
Fringe?
Yeah,
No, it was just like a regular leather jacket. And a paisley shirt. But he
Okay.
said all the clothes he wore in the movie. I don't know why he pointed
And
that
you
out.
invited him down to the Quencher, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
and he played the game with the numbers on the ceiling fan, where you turn the ceiling fan off, and he kept betting on number 4, and you shut the ceiling fan off, and the blade closest to the dot on the ceiling wins the money.
There you go. Did he win?
He won several times.
Good for him.
So anyway, speaking of that now, fast forward. Oh, actually, I don't know when I got this, but I was telling TC about this earlier. So as you can see, this is an envelope from Warner Brothers Studios Television, 300 Television Place, Burbank, California, and it's dated, postmarked January 1996. And I got this on eBay, and you know what is in here? These are fan letters people sent to David Carradine back in the 90s when he was filming Kung Fu, The Legend Continues.
Wow.
So I just thought it would be interesting.
So so let me make this clear for the listening audience. These are actual fan letters that were sent to Warner Brothers that never reached Mr. Carradine.
Never reached. They're all opened by me.
So somebody at Warner Brothers decided to sell them on eBay to make a couple bucks, and you got your hands on them, and you're going to read some of them.
I just thought it would be interesting.
I think this is fascinating.
Yeah, letters to Grasshopper, right on the air.
Exactly. We're all fans, and we've all written letters like this. And I just, and again, I'm the person who opened them. So what they were, you could buy them in batches. It said batches of David Carradine fan mail, and I think it was like, I want to say $10 for a batch of letters. So I thought that'd be interesting. Now, I didn't know they would be unopened actual letters. So I was kind of like surprised. So this first one now, this is from a Ramona Barad in Bray Ridge, Louisiana.
Bray Ridge, Louisiana. What was her name again?
Ramona M. Barad.
Okay.
And we won't give her address out because I want to dox her. But she sent this to David Carradine. This looked like it could have been an address to his house. This one didn't. Actually, no, they're all to 9753 Latuna Canyon Road in Sun Valley, California. And she has it stamped on the outside, happy birthday. And as you can see, it's a little card.
It's a nice little birthday card.
Yeah, and inside were these little, like cellophane little decoratives here.
She went all out, this girl.
She did. And here's the interesting thing. She's not asking for anything. She just says, David, happy birthday from Ramona.
Wow.
That's it.
Wasn't that Aunt Belle's wife's name? Ramona?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Maybe she was from the Philippines?
Yeah. Was it Ramona?
I think it was Ramona.
Well, this came from Bray Bridge, Louisiana.
Not your neighbors in Pahrump, huh?
No. So I thought you'd find that interesting.
That's actually, this is like finding lost treasure.
I thought so. I thought it was kind of.
Think about it. You think when these people wrote these things 30 years ago that they would end up on the After Hours of TC Restani podcast read to the world by Ricky Bittman.
And I didn't, and I kind of feel like this is an invasion of privacy to a degree. But like I said, from fans to other fans,
right?
This is very heartwarming to me.
Somewhere out there, there are letters that I wrote to celebrities, probably in someone's hands.
Yeah, maybe. And if somebody sold them, it's from TC. When you were a little TC,
well, it could be worth money then.
Yeah. Now this one's a little more verbose. This one comes from Jill Fair, and she's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this is postmarked also December of '95. This is also a birthday card.
Oh, it's a nice one too.
So I wonder if his birthday is in December.
I'll look that up while you read that.
So this one, little forget-me-not. And she writes, Dear David, I am a very big fan of you and Kung Fu. I just wanted to say thank you for the great movies. They've been there when I really needed them. See, stuff like that just hits me when I really needed them. I have your Tai Chi video, which has been tremendous help in my life. So have a very happy birthday. Wishing you love, peace, joy always, Jill Fair. Overflowing with happiness. Many, many more happy ones, Jill Fair. So again,
that's great. I mean, they were there when I really needed them. You got to think that like maybe this person faced some bullying or some harassment, and watch those kung fu videos. Use some of the Tai Chi, all that stuff. I mean, you're right. This is pretty heartwarming and inspiring stuff.
And if they didn't get to him, we're moved by them.
Right, and we're going to give them more exposure than they would, because Carradine probably were like, oh, thanks, and throw it in a bucket.
And he never opened it.
And his birthday, for the record, was in December.
Okay, so that makes sense there. Now this one, it doesn't say when it was. This one is from Germany, Jeff. Luftpost airmail from Mr. Martin. I don't know this. P.A.P. Mecklenburger. And he's from...
Definitely German.
It just says Germany. I pardon my. I can't. There's a lot of really pretty stamps on this one, and
those could be worth money. Those stamps, you never know.
You got to give it to the Germans, though. They're so precise. Look at this. He's got this
a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Exactly, his Sazy, and he's got this coupon release. Union Postal Universal. I guess it's something that will allow them to send this back. This is, I guess, the equivalent of a stamp. I don't know, but right to the point. Dear Mr. David Carradine, I would happy when you give me an autogram. Thanks.
I will be happy when you give me an autogram.
Autogram. Thanks with the best wishes. Your big fan, Martin Pape.
Martin Pape.
And it's a little index card, very, very well written.
And it's in English.
Yeah. I would be happy when you give me an autogram.
Very happy when you give me an autograph.
When you meet, that's what you want to say to Steve Martin when you meet him in a couple weeks. 'Cause
I'll be
that'll
very
make-
happy when you give me an autograph.
I guess this
That's
letter
the su-
proves that we've got
That's
an
one of the
unhappy
surprises we
German
get
on our
coming up.
hands who did not get his autogram.
And here's another one. This is from
That's Scheiße, David Carradine. That's Scheiße.
Steve Elming. Okay, water sports safaris. This is funny. Shaver Lake, California. So he sends it to that same address. I wonder, we'll look up 9753 Latuna Canyon. It's probably his house. And this one is from November of 95. And basically he's trying to sell him something. Dear David, picture yourself in the middle of winter on a sun-splashed beach, basking in the sun, riding a wave runner. Now's the time to make your reservation. The packages for 5 days and nights, everything included. Please call now to make your reservation. So this guy was just trying to sell him
He was
something.
a shill, that guy.
Yeah. Steve Elmer or whatever
Someone
his name
should
was.
kung fu him.
This one was very, it's obviously from England because of I would guess because the Queen is there, and it just says airmail for the return address. Warner Brothers TV, 4000 Warner Brothers Boulevard. Does that sound right? Burbank, California, USA.
Well, you have an envelope that has the address
Was
on
it
it.
4,000? That's just a P.O. No, it says 300.
Oh.
So maybe that's why this one never made it to him. This one's kind of interesting. And again, look at this. I mean, the person who wrote that probably thinks this thing is in a landfill, and here it is on a desk at the palatial mansion.
It's unbelievable.
And he's from 99 Kirkby Road, Sutton, Notts, England, I guess. I can't. It says dear. I want to say GRESS.
Let's see. Let me see my.
What is he trying to say there? Dear Gress.
Dear,
Does that look like Gress to you?
or
Is he trying to say grass?
SRES Gress?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Yeah, you can read the rest of it.
But he goes, having heard the future of Kung Fu, what is it, TLC? Why am I drawing a blank? The legend continues. Might be in danger, we decided to write and say what a great shame that would be. Surely a 5th season could be used to tie in the storyline of... Now here we go, now he's writing episodes here. It would be great to see Kane and Skillany together on a more permanent basis, and Peter could finally find inner peace, a wife for him to bring forth a new generation of Kanes. We enjoy the program very much, although English fans only see the first 2 seasons. Blah, blah. David, beautifully acted. We love Warner Brothers. They should consider. Surely the fans could count on something. We just hope someone over there, you, for instance, takes notice of us. Yours sincerely, Sue and Tom Diver.
We should see if Sue and Tom Diver are on social media.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
That's the funny part of this. These things were written almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And who
It's
knows?
history.
Who knows if these people are
Or
still
prank
kicking?
them. I could do my best impression of I'm calling you from beyond the grave, and I
can
just
prove
thought I just thought it was a very, very thoughtful letter.
They say you can't take it with you, but they buried me with my fan mail. And I'm just getting back to answering
The
it now.
thoughtfulness comes from the heart.
I like this one especially because it's very decorative stationery, and this also comes from Germany. And this is from her last name is Wolfheimer in Deutschland. And dear Mr. Carradine, I am a very great admirer of you from Germany. I would be happy if you could send me a picture with your signature. Thank you and all the best wishes to you. Yours faithfully, Rosita Wolfheimer. My address is blah, blah, and she got a little airmail stamp there. So again, that was March 2nd of 1996 she wrote that.
March 2nd, 1996. And here we are reading it in May of 2023.
Well, this is before conventions, and they're like, he never got to make it over there,
Right.
Germany.
Yeah.
So, that's 2 Germans that are hungry for autographs.
Yeah, and that's how you used to do it back in the day. That's kind of what I wanted to mention.
Right.
Now, the last one is particularly interesting, Jeff, because this is from a C. Mahoney in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Carrie Mahoney?
First thing TC said before you got here. The first thing he said when you got here.
Well, great minds think alike.
Sick mind, you mean?
And this is a Christopher Mahoney.
Oh, okay. Well, what's Carrie to us?
Look at this. Now, this kid is in the 5th grade. Look at this. Look at this. Look how professionally typed this letter is.
Well, see, that's when printers
wow.
were kind of like new.
Yeah. Well, this was definitely done on a straight typewriter. I guarantee you.
So this was in the 5th grade
And
in 1996.
Yeah.
So you figure how old are you in the 5th grade? 11 in the 5th grade.
And this was 26, so he's 37 right now.
He's 37 years old.
Around there.
He's probably married with kids and totally forgot that he wrote this.
Exactly. So we'll get to that in a minute. But I just thought that this one's kind of cool. Dear Mr. Carradine, my name is Christopher. I'm in the 5th grade at the Highland School in Danvers. I study Taekwondo at Bruce McCory's Martial Arts School in Peabody, Massachusetts. Right now I'm preparing to test for my green belt. For the next 3 months, my classmates and I will be working on creating our own magazines from cover to cover. I have chosen martial arts as a category for my magazine. I have to write editorials, advertising, articles. This is fifth grade, this kid.
And what city is he from?
He's from Danvers, Massachusetts.
Well, I'll be.
Could you send me some information about yourself, probably include what initially drew you to the martial arts? It would be great to have a photo of you, too, if that's possible. Thank you for taking the time to read my letter. This kid wrote he hit all the marks. He didn't ask for anything, and he just said, thank you for reading my letter, etc. So I thought that was cool.
Okay, well, I just Googled his name.
Yeah.
And October 13th, 2017. Well, no, this wouldn't have been him.
I was going to say, don't tell me he's gone.
No, this guy got in trouble with the law. He was 38 in 2017. It's not him.
All right.
But isn't that funny that,
Well, I'm like, what about the martial arts school? Is that martial arts school there? The Highlands School in, that's the Bruce McCory's, MCCORRY, Bruce McCory Martial Arts, Peabody.
I'm going to look it up.
Maybe we can get in touch with him through there.
I'm going to look it up.
Imagine this guy just listening to this all of a sudden.
Bruce McCorley's Martial Arts, Peabody, North Shore.
So he's still there. Well, the school is still there.
Since 1978, the school has been there. The number is there. It's on Newberry Street in Peabody.
Isn't that funny? So here's Jeff. Here's what I was thinking. So TC and I were talking about this. So say we take one of these letters, one that we can kind of verify the person is still around. I'm pretty sure in my collection somewhere I have a not personalized autograph picture of David Carradine. And what if we would have just anonymously send that to that person with this letter? Don't you think it would show up on social media or the news or something, or somebody would say, do you think there would be any traction to that?
I think it's kind of like when people find, lost rings or something on a highway.
A message in a bottle.
Right, a message in a bottle.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something there. I think we should do it to the local kid.
I think so too.
And, just to see.
Closer.
Just to see what would happen. I think that would be, either that kid.
Yeah, he would be thinking it's something paranormal, something like that.
It's like I sent this letter 29 years ago to David Carradine, who's been dead for 15 years. And it just showed up now?
Yeah, we'd have to wait until David Carradine's birthday or his birthday or something like this, something to make it more mysterious.
I mean, wouldn't it be something? So I'm thinking, this is something I gotta get my feet under me with this and see if I can find
I think so.
The picture.
I think this is a Ricky Bittman exclusive.
Yeah. And I mean, what if he reads it and just drops dead? Am I gonna get arrested for murder?
Wear rubber gloves when you mail it.
Yeah. Well, I said, this has got to be an anonymous act.
You know what you should do? If we're sending it to this person who lives in a certain town in Peabody, you should mail it from Peabody.
There you go, because we were wondering where we should mail it from.
So that way there's no post stamp or, postmark from another town that we may be living in.
And if anything, we're giving him a story he can tell for the rest of his life.
Right. He goes, you're not going to believe this.
Look at this.
I sent a letter, a typed written letter.
Beautifully typed written.
To Mr. David Carradine, care of Warner Brothers Television, 300 Television Plaza, which I've been to, by the way. It's a very nice place.
I bet.
And January 12th, 1996. So, was he doing the Kung Fu? The legend continues then? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have this guy's address. And you continue to talk. I'm going to look this up and see if this person still lives at this address.
That would be cool.
It'd be funny as hell. We're going to do this.
So do we do it and call him, or do we just? I think we just because I'm saying.
No, I think we just mail it.
Yeah.
And then you know what? You can put one of your stickers in there.
There you go.
And then he can track you down.
Please come to my door.
But they're not going to track you. Your address ain't on the sticker.
That's true.
Just an email.
That's true.
They're not going to know where you live.
I mean, it's not harmful. We're not threatening. And if he was to say something, we could come forward and say, hey, it was us, and this is why we did it.
We're actually honoring your request.
Yeah,
It
I
just
mean, judging from how hard that he worked on typing out that letter, he's probably sitting there thinking, I wonder if he ever got that letter, Mr. Carradine. I wonder if he ever even opened it. God, that was a waste of my time. And this is gonna blow his mind.
Imagine like sitting in traffic one day and he goes, I wonder what happened to that. And then all of a sudden, 27 years later, here you go, answering from beyond the grave.
That would be that's something you would have saw. Remember that show? That's incredible.
That's incredible.
I mean, those
Ugly
people are still
talk show
alive, right?
host.
Isn't Frank Tarkenton and
Well, wasn't that? Yeah, no, that's incredible. Frank and Kathy Lee Crosby.
and John Davidson.
Davidson, yeah.
John Davidson. Oh, that guy had the worst smile. Oh, he was creepy.
This would be perfect. That would have been showing up on That's Incredible.
What do you think of this, Quincy? Do you realize what we're talking about?
You're talking about That's Incredible. You're talking about letters, of Kung Fu. That's
But this guy wrote the letter 27 years ago, and I have it. And he wants an autographed picture, which I think I'm just going to send him. That it was actually signed by David Carradine 27 years later.
That's incredible. How come it took so long, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, the guy he wrote it to, David Carradine from the show Kung Fu. Remember the show Kung Fu?
Ha!
Yeah. He never got it. And I
Jeez.
bought this on eBay. I think the whole batch cost me $10, if I remember correctly.
That's,
But it's like, look at the condition it's in, and it just goes to show you, if you take care of your things, they'll stay nice.
yeah.
I have a phone number.
Do you really?
It popped up.
These are priceless letters. What can I tell you? Very priceless, right?
Imagine if he was just like,
Don't you think? Priceless.
This is fascinating. Someone still lives there with the name Mahoney
really?
on this address.
See, I think that's what we should do.
This kid just doesn't know he just won the lottery. He now lives in Groveland, Mass.
There you go.
I know Groveland.
Did he have an address for Groveland?
I'm going to look here.
But I wonder if we should just send it to the one in...
It says here, age 38, born in either 85 or 84. And...
is he martial arts background? Does it give us that?
We have his home phone number, his wireless, and his address in Groveland.
What do you think?
And the crazy part is, Google Maps has his house too. So I'm going to screen grab this.
All right.
And I think you need to do this. I think Mr. Mahoney out there is in for, and this was confirmed last month.
Okay.
So he's there. This person is there.
So here's the deal. So we do this. I still say he's going to call the news or somebody's going to say, or he's going to put it on Twitter or something.
Or he's going to have a heart attack.
I mean, looking at his handwriting from the 5th grade.
Hopefully, you never know. Someone don't know. They could be listening. If you know Christopher Mahoney, Mahoney living in.
He was born in Danvers.
And he's currently living in Groveland, Massachusetts, hometown of one of my favorites, Maria Stefanos.
Ah, well, we got a tie-in right there.
There you go.
Imagine if she was the first one he called.
I'd be jealous because he had her number.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, I think this is one of those once in a lifetime opportunities.
Yeah.
We're never going to reach anybody in Germany or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't
this
think
just
so.
happened by the fates of Carradine himself that it's local and it's right up the street.
I got one from Massachusetts when I ordered it.
So-
and again, this isn't harmful. We're not trying to hurt anybody.
No, we're actually making this person's dream come true.
So I figure we send it, we just fold it right back up like this.
We're like, instead of Santa's helpers, we're Carradine helpers.
Yeah, we're Grasshopper helpers. We
There
send
you
this
go.
back, and he's going to go, what the hell is this? And he'll look at the picture and goes, this is awesome.
Right.
Because I know I would. That would be my first reaction, would be that this is the greatest thing ever.
Right. But you have to put in your card.
But see, I don't know about. That's the part I'm not sure about.
Why?
I don't know, because it's almost like it's going to immediately take the mystery out of it.
Okay.
You know, that way, because I guarantee you.
All right, then you know what? We shouldn't mail it from the Peabody and whatnot because I think it's a friend doing it as a
That's true,
joke.
too. Yeah, it was a joke.
So we're going to mail it from somewhere else. I mean, I'll mail it from New Hampshire. I go to New Hampshire all the time.
That works for me.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, all right.
So this
All right, so my homework then, I got to find that picture.
gotta find
It's a
that
black-
picture.
I believe he's playing the long flute.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that was how I met him, by the way. Like, when I met him at the Bateside Expo, he was at a convention, and the place was crowded as hell. I'm like, how am I going to find this guy? And I listened closely, and I could hear the and I followed it, and there he was playing his flute.
The siren song seduced you.
That's fantastic. I mean, this is stuff that that kind of like Norm Nathan would have done.
Yeah,
because he used to call up the random payphones at truck stops around the country.
I used to love that. That was the best.
See, I tried to do that a couple of years ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I had a friend who was a truck driver that I met on Twitter, and he goes, there are no payphones anymore.
I know. That's
so you
what
can't
sucks.
call them.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because when I used to listen to Norm Nathan, for those of you who aren't from the Boston area, Norm Nathan was a legend of late night radio on WBZ in Boston, and I become friends with his producer. All right,
there's something else that he did.
What's that?
WRKO, and here's a clip for you. What a bunch of boring people, huh? Bunch of angry, evil people. Soap opera update produced by Kathy Graham. Just seems to be they just sit around waiting for things to be unhappy about. I mean, you never saw such an unhappy bunch. Oh, what you think of the presentation, they boys and girls. Still, they're waiting for Don Kerry to come back. I don't think Bruce Elliott is making it. He always forgets one or two. That's the soap opera update by Norm Nathan.
Oh.
There you go. No, he was on WRKO before he was on BZ. So you're 100% correct.
And the soap opera update, you just memorized that?
Yep.
Jeebus.
And Jordan Rich.
I know.
Well, Jordan Rich was actually on our program, on the TV program back in 2011.
So there's a very important clip.
Right.
Apparently. Thanks, Quincy.
I used to love listening to late night talk radio on TV. They don't have on the radio, not on TV. On the radio, they don't have it anymore.
No.
I mean, every once in a while, Morgan White, he's really good.
Yep.
But he's only on, I think, on like Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
But I used to listen to guys like Larry Glick,
Yep.
Bob Raleigh,
Yep.
obviously Norm Nathan, who gave me a tour. Me and my friend Norm and Steve Heff gave me a tour of WBZ.
Over on Soldiers Field?
On Soldiers Field Road in 1992.
Wow.
And I'm going to let a little cat out of the bag. I told his producer this, that I became, because now he puts all the, remember when you used to do the thing called the dumb birthday game?
Yes.
Where he would pick celebrities and you'd have to guess their birthday, whatever it was. And I used to call in there occasionally. And
Just occasionally.
I used to also call in as a certain somebody.
Yeah.
And I let the cat out of the bag to his producer about a year ago, and he goes, "You had us all fooled." For those of you, big breaking news, whoever listened to WBZ overnight back in the early to mid 1990s on Norm Nathan show, I was the one who called as Randy Macho Man Savage.
Oh my God.
It went, I had the illusion going so bad that Randy was signing autographs at the Meadow Glen Mall.
I was there.
Okay. And I had a friend of mine who didn't care anything about wrestling. I go, you have to get this signed to Norm. All right. So we walk up and Randy's there and he's like, what's your name? Yeah. and I told him my name. And then he goes, yeah, my name's Norm. To Norm. And he signed it, Macho Man. And then I mailed it. And then I called him a couple nights later as Randy, and he goes, I heard you were in town, Randy. And he goes, Norm Nathan, I got something in the mail for you, brother.
That's so good.
And then a couple of weeks later, he goes, I called in. Why they didn't put two and together? Why is Randy Savage calling Norm Nathan at 3 a.m. on a Sunday? And he's like, well, Randy, I got it. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Norm Nathan, anything for you, brother? Yeah. And one night, this was insane. After I called there a few times, they all bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And they're like, Randy, we got callers on the line. They would like to speak to you.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm like, yeah, put them on, brother. Put them on. Yeah.
That's scary good.
And then they were like, Randy, what do you think about what's going to happen this is right before he was getting married to Elizabeth at SummerSlam. Yep. You think anybody's going to attack you? If they attack me, they're going to really pay the price, my friend, because I'll snap into them like Slim Jims, right?
Scary. Huh?
And Norm Nathan's like, you're defending your future wife's honor. That's wonderful, Randy. You're a man's man. So, yeah.
Now, I was at that Meadow Glen Mall event with my nephew.
Right.
They were giving raffle tickets you could get because they were giving away black and white photos.
Yeah, I had the black and white photo.
And if you got the raffle ticket, you got the color photo.
Right.
Of course, my nephew wins, and he had no interest. I was just bringing him there because he thought it was cool. I actually went on and bought him a toy, some game where you throw a ball and you catch it with Velcro. I traded him that for the Macho Man picture, and I have it still to this day.
It's probably the same picture. It was him in like this colorful outfit, and he was going
exactly.
like this.
That's exactly the one.
And the one that I have, it's like a 4x6, and it said Meadow Glen Mall at the bottom.
And I was like kind of bummed at that one, but when he won the color one, I was like, this is awesome. And I remember trimming it down all the day. There was like some crap there, but I just trimmed it down so it's just a picture. But all I remember him saying was, it was really crowded, and people were starting to cut the lines, and I was getting pissed. I mean, I just remember him saying, well, some of you may not know I'm getting married in a few weeks.
No, it was that Monday.
Oh, was that Monday? Okay.
That was a Saturday.
Yep, it was definitely a Saturday.
And then the SummerSlam was on the Monday.
Oh, my God.
And one of the things that I remember about that was, you know how I have my ear to things.
You do.
He had I saw the limousine outside. It had Connecticut license plates. Obviously, the WWF brought him up there. And he was talking to somebody that I knew that used to work at the Boston Garden. He knew Randy. Yeah. And he's like, hey, Randy, you want to go? He goes, yeah, we got to go down and tape the wedding reception for the thing that's going to air the week after. So they taped, though, if you remember, the whole wedding reception where Elizabeth opens the package and the snake jumps out.
That's right.
Was taped actually that Sunday the day before SummerSlam.
That's great.
So a little scoop that I heard from Randy talking to some dude he knew from the Garden.
That's awesome.
So
Nice.
The Meadow Glen Mall. I go shopping there now. It's a Wegmans.
It's a Wegmans, yeah.
So
you like the Wegmans, right?
Yep, it's good stuff.
So as I walk through there, where the frozen food is where Randy Savage is on a little perch signing
You would know
autographs.
exactly, too.
I would. I exactly would.
That's you.
That he wasn't going to be signing autographs until noon, and me and my friends got there at 6 a.m.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't show up until 2.
Yeah, I remember we waited a while. Brian was getting very antsy.
And it was a hot day.
Because I remember when he won the picture, we left. Because he would sign autographs, and then they would stop and they would pull a number out, and he would just it's signed Macho Man. He didn't personalize it or anything.
He didn't put Randy Savage. He just wrote Macho Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also heard that when you catch him outside a match, he only signs for disabled people and crippled kids.
He was a crazy man in the ring, and he was paranoid and about his wife and whatnot. But Randy Savage, every year, he lived in Florida down near like Tampa. He would donate $10,000 to the Children's Hospital every Christmas.
Wow. What a guy.
So, and he, in one of the documentaries they did about him, he had a lot of friends that were special needs, and he never had children, so he just, adopted these kids. So I think when he died, he left some money to the Children's Hospital of Tampa.
You never hear that, but that's nice.
Well, yeah, his brother talked about it, but yeah, Randy, he just passed away. Yeah,
that's
Leap
right.
and Landy's gone.
Leap and Landy's gone.
All of them are dead. There's no Poffos anymore.
That's terrible.
Miss Elizabeth died 20 years ago the other day.
Yeah. I saw that.
I mean, I'll never forget meeting him there at the Meadow Glen Mall.
Yeah, that was cool. I remember we were there. It was awesome.
But I went to what you're talking about, the David Carradine. I went to that extent for the facade for Norm Nathan.
But say you went and you didn't get anything, but you handed a letter, and that was 27 years ago, and 27 years later, you got an autographed picture from Macho Man and a copy of your letter back in the mail. What would you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So I think I'm going to do it.
I think you have to do that because this kid's going to blow this person's mind.
Yeah.
That if he even remembers that he sent it. I mean, do you remember something you did in the 5th grade?
No, but I think, he would definitely look at it and say, oh, my God, I remember this now. It's got to trigger something.
Right. He's like, wait a minute. How long ago did I send this?
And it's just coming now, and he's been dead for how long?
He's been dead for 15 years.
And again, we're not making light of it. We're fans of David Carradine. I think this kid deserves it, and we're going to honor the request.
In a weird way, he won the lottery. You bought this as a joke off of eBay many moons ago, and had all these unopened letters from all over the world, and by chance, one of them is from down the street from your house.
Yeah, and but I honestly think if he gets this, it's going to be shared on social media somehow.
I hope so.
And we'll see it.
Oh yeah, he's going to build a shrine in his living room to this autographed picture, and he's going to be doing Tai Chi and Kung Fu in front of it for the rest of his life.
Can't you see if it winds up on one of those shows or like that asshole Jimmy Kimmel picks
Well,
it up?
they're on strike, so.
Well, hey, you don't have to write this. We'll write it for you, Peckerhead.
And they are peckerheads.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even if he doesn't make light of it, we have the guy's name. We got his phone number. We can easily find his social media.
It's out there.
In a couple months, you can write, whatever, what was his catchphrase on Kung Fu?
Oh, well, it'll be time for you to leave. But I'll just say, hey, we live, we learn, just like he signed my book.
There you go. We're doing David Carradine's work.
I think we should.
I think it's because you host the Kung Fu Theater.
There you go, and it all tracks back to that. I always say you get on that rabbit hole, you never really know where you're going to find.
This is fascinating. Now, has anybody here on the dais sent out a fan letter that you haven't got anything back from?
Yep. I requested a film from Hal Needham. I was a young kid. I wrote a letter to Hal Needham, and I never heard anything back. He would send you a reel-to-reel of his stunts, like his stunts that he was the stunt guy.
Hal Needham was the director of Smoking the Bandit, Hooper, and the movie.
I wrote a letter to that guy.
And the movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is loosely based on his and Burt Reynolds' relationship.
Now, see, that I did not know.
What's his name? Brad Pitt is supposed to be Hal Needham in that movie.
Because they would stream that. I can't find that anywhere.
Because him and Burt Reynolds were like best friends. He might have, I don't know this for a fact, but he might have been Burt Reynolds' stunt double somewhere down the line.
Probably.
Because they had to have met somewhere because they made classic movies.
Yep.
And Hal Needham's son was married to Connie Newton, who played Elizabeth on 8 Is Enough.
Wow.
Because for a couple seasons, she was
Foxy.
Connie Needham Newton.
I didn't know that.
Or Connie Newton Needham.
Two towns in Massachusetts.
Say that fast. So you wrote the hell. You didn't get anything back?
Nothing. No.
You're not going to get anything back. He's gone now.
No. Well, you can't say that.
Well, you never know.
You can't say that.
It could be.
Nobody can say that anymore.
That is true. What about you, Jeff? You ever written to a celebrity that?
Well, yeah, sort of. Here's a funny story. Back in the 70s, there used to be this comic in the Boston Globe called Ass Shag. And he just looked like this little puff of hair. He kind of looked like Cousin It, only it was either in the Herald. Yeah, it was either in the Herald or the Globe. It was Ask Shag, and you write a letter to Shag, and ask him a question about animals, and he would say, and if you were lucky, you would. He would put your your letter and a funny little comic, and it would be posted in the Boston Herald. So I wrote him a letter, but there was something with the stamp that I gave them because the letter came back while I was at school. So one of my neighbors got a hold of it. Hey, let's send him a free Shag doll and everything. So what my one of my brother Dan's friends, let's just call him Jason, he went home and tore like a mop hand, like the hairy part of an old mop, and threw little googly eyes on it and put put it in a box and addressed it to me, to Jeff Collins from Shag, and I was so psyched and everything, and I opened it up and this crummy, dirty mop thing falls out and the eyes fall off of it, and I was kind of crushed. But I wrote to Shag and I got a mop thing, and I got the head of a mop in the mail.
Now here's the big question: do you still have this?
No, it was thrown in the trash. My mother threw it in the trash. Oh, God, get that dirty thing out of here.
Now, if I get sued, I'm going to bring Jeff in as a character witness. This is how we could have done it.
Right.
We could have, and I honestly, if I don't have this picture, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I don't want to send them anything fake.
No, you don't want to do that.
Even if I have to buy one off of eBay, if I can't find that one.
But thanks. That's a good. I haven't thought of that in years, and it is. And I was disappointed then, but now it's freaking hilarious.
That's a great story.
Okay, I have a similar one to you guys. Okay. We were kids, and there was a guy on the air who drew stuff. His name was Captain Bob Cottle.
Oh, Bob Cottle, yeah.
All right,
Captain Bob.
So I wrote him or drew shit and sent it to him, right? And
draw Tippy.
I drew a fish or whatever it was, and I sent it off to him, and I kept watching week after week. And then one episode, they go, "We got something here from TC," and I was all excited. And I'm like, I didn't draw that. And then I realized years later, I was watching a rerun from like 5 years earlier. And I was totally heartbroken. Then, wait a minute, I didn't draw that. There's another scumbag named TC out there who sent the stuff to Captain Bob.
We'll use his letter, but we're not using that picture. Someone else draw it.
Yeah, I didn't even. I think it was a goat or something. I drew a fish. All right. I was like, what the hell? Fuck you, Captain Bob.
I do remember that show though.
Oh, I can still play that song on the harmonica.
Do
I
it
wish I could.
right now. You can hum it, I bet.
That's
it. I heard that he was kind of a dink in real life.
Really?
I heard, he's like, he's Mr. Nice Guy on the air.
Well,
and
he lives in
whatnot.
that little shack.
He did live in that little shack, eating saltines all day.
like oysterettes.
Drawing, was it drawing by nature, drawing from nature, whatever it was called.
Yeah, drawing from nature.
You know what? I actually want that little model that they had.
It was something very wholesome and peaceful.
It was
watching that.
relaxing.
It was.
I mean, you're 5 years old and you're watching Captain Bob on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, usually because I was up like maybe sick or something.
The
like
animosity I have towards him. He's not nothing personal, but when I saw that as a kid, and here's something from TC, I was like, yeah. I'm calling my mom and whatnot, and then they showed the damn thing, and it wasn't the fish that I drew, and I was like, what?
That sucks. Yeah.
When Airwolf Chris, who directs our TV show, got a job at Channel 5, I said, the archives are underneath there. They must have everything
They
down
have to.
there. I said, you got to go down there and see if you can find that little Captain Bob thing. No one's going to miss it because it was sitting in a basement for 50 years.
Did he have a look?
They wouldn't let him down there.
Oh, see it, then it's down there.
Then the other thing I wanted, and I asked our good friend Maria, who was
know
on
what you're
Channel
gonna ask
5, was Frank the...
I was going to say Frank, Dirty Frank.
Dirty Frank from Jabberwocky. I want that thing because it looks like Bull.
Who was his voice on there?
I don't know, but there was a lot of famous people on that show.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, what's his name?
Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, right?
No, he was in England. Jabberwocky was produced, I think, at Channel 5.
Yeah, it was produced
and
locally.
I think Jo Beth Williams, before she was anything, was on that.
You're thinking of Black Adder.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
you're right.
who's the guy from Christine? I may even throw in a couple bucks.
Oh, great.
Oh, that guy, yeah, that guy from Last Action Hero and Miss Doubtfire. I know exactly.
And he was
I just
also in
don't
The
know.
Great Outdoors.
He was all horny in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Whatever his name was, he was on that show.
That's right.
So they must. I mean,
Wasn't Jo Beth Williams on there?
She was, yeah.
Did you just say that?
I did.
I'm sorry.
We're in a time loop here.
Gina Valentina Salzmina, fan club queen, he texted me.
Really?
Yeah. Just a picture of her and Tosh Lento. Oh, they're dropping stickers over at the restaurant they're at.
Oh, wonderful. Maybe they can drop a restaurant after our good friend Mahoney's house up in Groveland.
I'm starting to think this is really going to be something.
This is going to be. It's either going to be he's going to think it's a practical joke,
Yeah.
or he's going to have an epiphany.
Yeah.
He's going to wake up and dreams do come true.
Someone's going to say, you should really call the news about this. Is weird. You should really call.
When did you write that? When you were in the fifth grade?
And it was postmarked and everything. January 17, 1996.
And it came from New Hampshire?
That's what we got to do. Mail it from New Hampshire.
Wait.
That's mysterious.
It's like, where in New Hampshire? Seabrook, New Hampshire?
Isn't there a racetrack and fireworks up there?
Isn't he dead?
That should have been the first question.
Someone call Leonard Nimoy in search of.
So it's funny now. People do listen to this. Word could get out. Ahead of time, but I don't know.
I don't think anyone's going to go through that much effort.
Yeah, no. Wait a minute now. I've been listening to this. I know Chuck Mahoney.
I know Mr. Mahoney. That he's wow. Well, he's in for a shock.
I'm going to do it, but I got to find that picture. So I'll keep you guys posted.
All right. Well,
on that.
if you don't find the
Fantastic.
picture, then all of this last 45 minutes is.
Well, I said it. I'll go on eBay. I'll find one and I'll buy it.
You'll find one.
Yeah.
It's a quest.
Yeah. Even if I have to get a certificate of authenticity, we know how reliable those are.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they do now is I was noticing when we were down at the convention
Wait a
last
minute.
weekend.
I know I have that picture, so I'm not. I know I have it.
Well, damn it, we'll make this happen. They now have a new scam for autograph collectors where they, at these shows, you can get it authenticated.
Yeah.
I don't need it authenticated. I just paid the guy $800 to sign the thing.
Yeah,
I know it's because, well, if you want to resell it on the secondary market, we have the certificate. This is how the guy talked. The certificate of authenticity.
And I'm sure that's cheap to have it authenticated.
And he goes, it's only going to cost you $45 per item. So
Everybody's out to make up, and we're not making any money off of this.
No.
Just want to let everyone know. This is going to come back monetarily to us.
Yeah, we have to pay for the stamp that's going to be mailed and the gas to go to Seabrook.
That's right. There's a lot going into this.
So, just think, this guy.
We've already spent $10. Let's just put it that way.
Because of the way the world works and the butterfly effect, this kid wrote a letter 27 years later. I got to drive to Seabrook, New Hampshire to mail it as a
True,
gag.
that is the butterfly effect.
You kidding me? Or the
And
Kung Fu
I
effect.
saved this, and I saved this in a book. I have a lot of my autographs.
A
and stuff.
Bible?
I want one of those zip things, 3-ring binders that zips, and it's all misshapen. Most of the autographs in there are wrestling autographs.
Oh, yeah? From who?
Captain Lou Albano, George the Animal Steel, Rick Martel is in there, Hacksaw Jim Duggan is in there, King Kong Bundy, who else? God.
90% of the people you just said are all dead.
Yeah, they are. I met them all, though. That's Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, yeah. The best there is, the best there was, no there will be.
And the only one I ever got for free was Chris Jericho. He had a thing you could send away, and you could write to him, and he'll send you an autographed picture.
Wow.
And I did it, and I got an autographed
Where'd
picture.
you get Captain Lou?
He was at Sports World in Everett.
Okay.
And he smelled terrible.
Oh, he's all boozed up.
He's real bad BO.
Really?
Yeah. And I was hungover, like you would not believe. And I have the picture to prove it too. And he says, "How do you want the picture?" And I just do me a favor, just point to me, and he's pointing at me like this, like that Lou Albano face.
And I'm sure he wrote, "God bless Jesus."
God bless Jesus. Yes.
Captain Lou.
And it's nice sentiment, but I just didn't want that on there.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he did.
It's Captain Lou. Well, this has been a fascinating show. We're obviously going to have a sequel to this podcast.
Yeah, we got to let everyone know how this came out.
If he becomes a good sport, we get a hold of him. We should invite him on the program.
Yeah, and see what he wants. He might want to talk about
and
it.
say, listen, Mr. Mahoney, you sent this out when you were a 5th grader in 1996.
That would be cool.
Did you ever think almost 30 years later you'd be talking to us on a podcast about your fascination with David Carradine?
What if I just put middle of the night podcast at gmail.com in there? Then he could reach out to us at least.
Isn't that on your sticker?
It is, but I didn't want to put the sticker in there.
All right. Go ahead.
What do you think?
But here's another idea. You say this guy lives, we have his address now. Maybe we could mail it and just drop that in his mailbox anonymously.
Yeah, everybody has these doorbell cameras and whatnot.
We don't want to get too close to the house
Right.
nowadays.
Yeah. That's why we're going to mail it from a different state.
I think that would be great, but like nowadays where everyone's so suspicious.
I think if you put in your email in there and he contacts you, then we can let the cat out of the bag to this guy if he doesn't hear this podcast.
And if he does to us, we can use this as ever. We don't mean any malicious intent. It's just that from fans of this type of stuff.
I would have loved to have this happen to me when I wrote to like Jacqueline Smith back in the day, and 40 years later. I get an envelope from Jacqueline Smith back in the. I mailed it to Aaron Spellin Productions, and Tori had nothing to do one night, and she's going through envelopes.
She goes, "Oh my God, I have a picture. I'm going to send it to."
I'm going to send, and that's exactly what it is. It's like when you went to Santa Claus as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of bringing that whole thing, that whole mysterious notion of childhood back.
Because my cousins were like 10 years older than me, so
I know what you're going to say.
Well, what they actually did was kind of actually cool. I was probably like around 6, and we were over at my uncle's house, and we went every Sunday for dinner, and it was around Christmas time, and they had 2 phone lines in the house. I don't know why. It was back in the 70s. They just did.
Interesting.
And I think it was because the girls wanted their own phone, talk to their boyfriends and whatnot.
Makes sense.
So I was not in on this, obviously. And the phone rang, and they go, "Yes, he's here. Yes, right here." And I was like, and they're like, "It's for you." I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like 6, 7 years old. How do they know I was here? So I put it on, and then obviously it was one of my older cousins.
Hello, TC.
And he's like, "Hello, TC, it's Santa Claus." And I shit my pants. It's Santa Claus. And they're like, this is before Star Wars. So like, "I understand you like, Matchbox and dinosaurs and all." I was like, yeah. "Well, you've been a good boy this year, I heard." And there,
That's cool.
That was cool. But
it is stuff like that. It's there's an element of magic in the world. But I do think we're gonna hear about this whether I put the email address in or even if we don't. I think this is gonna surface, and if it doesn't, we'll be so bummed. If it doesn't,
that guy, he hung himself. He's a weirdo.
So, man, the more I think about it, like if we put the email, then he said, "Hey, guy, whoever you are, please understand this is great, or just leave me alone," and I'll say, "Fine." We'll
never even respond.
Yeah, there you go. Just never respond.
Yeah. There we go. Unbelievable. So this is kind of like a detective story there, Detective Briscoe.
Yes,
could
it
be a
is.
case for you
We're
to
going to have
solve.
to get some more clues. Examine the clues, and I will tell you what's the buzz.
What's the buzz?
Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
I'm going to have to go out and get a pair of rubber gloves when I mail this thing so my fingerprints aren't on it.
Yeah, right now. Well, I think we've all had our DNA on this time.
But for the present,
Quincy, lick it.
Yeah. He fucking dropped dead. So the 27-year-old Clue killed a man at the palatial after-hours penthouse this evening.
But for the present, maybe I better conclude saying thank you for watching. This has been a very interesting episode.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Thank you for watching. Drive home carefully, and we will see you on another very exciting episode. Good
Remember,
night.
this is After Hours, and we what?
We
Never close. Never, never, never.
Never.